Hey guys, it's Postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new map change video. In today's video, we're talking map changes and storyline information for everybody out there. So we're heading into week 4 now, and a lot of exciting stuff is going on in the Fortnite world. Obviously, a lot of us are very upset that we've not been able to find the Gnome and Teddy storyline. However, since their disappearance by the authority, it looks like we've came across actually one of the gnomes still roaming the land. So my theory for these guys is they've actually gone and split up a little bit and gone to find a new base, a new home, obviously as the wood starts to reveal itself, as the water starts to get lower and lower and lower as we get through the weeks. Now currently the water hasn't changed since my last map change video, which I made about a week ago or so. If you haven't checked that one out, check it out after this one. There's a lot of comparisons in there. It's a great video. A lot of stuff did move and change. So we've actually found the gnome. Here he is. He's actually on top of this crate right here on this chair. You can see him here. He's really cool. He's chilling with his telescope and he's just kind of sunbathing, I guess. Maybe he's in the shade depending on the angle of the sun, and his telescope is facing towards Ghost's ship. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the ship because, as you guys know, the ship moved last week. Not many people know that, but if you saw the map change video, you will see it move. Then obviously the ship has officially moved, and now I'm wondering, maybe is he spying on Ghost? Is he planning something with Ghost? Because obviously the authority is owned by Shadow, and we know that obviously over at the Fortilla where the boat is being constructed, which we assume is part of Ghost's fort, maybe he's planning to move in there, or he's planning to put his team in there, and maybe the gnomes and bears are going to run it. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with this section. Definitely lines up with it, right? I'm pretty sure it does, that telescope, unless it's looking further into the distance at something else. Maybe it could be looking at Weeping Woods. Obviously we know that's where that old base was, based around there. But I'm very excited to see how this could play out for the gnome. So there's our gnome. We finally spotted him. Obviously I know a lot of you have been concerned about him, but we continue going this way. It feels like there are a few different gnome spots around the map. Here again is another kind of similar layout to what we just saw with the previous gnome. However, no bears and gnomes are at this one. Maybe they are here, but they're kind of like roaming around, gathering supplies, etc. That's my theory. Okay, jumping into this one, you can hear a little bit of sound on these. I'll play it again for you guys in a sec. It looks like the Choral chorus people have actually changed their audio slightly from their original song to a more bassy type song. Maybe it's the new choral characters that we're getting, but check this out, guys. It's actually a deeper audio sound. Listen to this. So I guess it's not exactly a map change, it's more of an audio change from last season, but it's pretty cool. Over at Sweaty as well, we have a little bit of an interesting one over by the Gnomes building. It actually has its kind of bubble, no sweat insurance rubber dinghy on it, but it's not actually keeping it floating up. So the float isn't working yet. Not too sure why this is the case. I guess maybe that kind of wooden structure which is connecting the bridge, maybe holding it down. But it's kind of interesting to see that this is ready for the water to lower throughout the upcoming week. So it looks like Sweaty's probably going to continue to stay on the water throughout the whole of this season. Maybe right at the end it might get taken off the water, but you can see they've clearly planned something here for this water-like structure to remain obviously on the water. Over at Pleasant, we talked about things going on over there last week, so we can clearly see now the digger itself is moving some rubble onto the ship. Other than that, I've not noticed any other smaller changes over at Pleasant. Again, this could have been here last week. I may have not noticed it, but you know, there are things going actively at Pleasant Park. Last week I covered them. Unfortunately, they're not rendering in this video, but if you come over to the section where I'm flying right now, you'll notice there will be a few diggers on this other side past the petrol station. Here you'll see obviously you have a digger which is turned and a few crates which have moved. You can't see them because of the render, but last week I covered that. They haven't changed yet, but I assume they'll change next week when we get an actual update. Also, the rig itself seems to be developing a little bit further. I feel like the rigs are getting a few different changes there and then, but there's something really special about one of the rigs, and that's actually this rig over here. So it looks like this rig is no longer part of the rig collection, and it looks like it's being turned into the old motel. Maybe? I don't know, but I like this. So this is a little Easter egg which we missed last week, so I thought I'd put it in today's video. The motel sign is on top of this rig. Many of you may not know this if you don't land over at the rig, and to be honest, it took me a while to realize it, hence why I didn't see it last week. There has been a bunch of render issues in creative. The reason for these render issues sorry, why am I saying creative? In the replay, the reason for these render issues is because of obviously these constant changing map kind of areas that are changing all the time, and they're changing almost weekly and daily. That's why I'm here to cover them for you guys. So if you aren't already subscribed, do consider smashing that subscribe. I want to thank everyone joining the channel. Roughly 80% of you guys that watch aren't subscribed. Also, don't forget to go and support me in the item shop with code Postboxpat. It means a lot. Thank you for those doing that. Here are a few shout outs to those doing that. If you'd like a shout out, come over to my Discord or Twitter and let me know if you're supporting me. So yeah, the rigs itself, they're developing. They're kind of changing a little bit into a motel. It's really nice to see, and just some general other stuff around the rig area, which is all moved, I guess, because of the water lowering for the first time. We'll continue to cover as the water does change, obviously, to keep you guys updated. Something really cool about it though, if you actually break the motel sign, it actually drops tires everywhere. I have no idea why that was the case, but it seemed to be, and I was pretty surprised that that even happened in my game. So yeah, pretty cool concept, I guess. Here it is again, so you can check that out again. I have no idea why tires go away from it. Maybe they're going to put a car up there or something, but apparently the motel sign is made of tires and not metal. Interesting. We're going to jump into some storyline stuff in a second. I just wanted to point out the other rig as well over here. Again, this is the same, but they just look so cool in the way these rigs have been developed slightly. I haven't really covered them too much, and not many people have really looked into the rigs in depth, but this rig itself has moved and shifted a little bit from the original starting position, should I say, for the season, because of obviously the connection now with the woods over here, and you got logjam, etc. These rigs are going to continue to move around and will probably just be either completely demolished by the end of the season or slightly moved and rearranged in just a random kind of metal piece in the woods. Okay, storyline stuff over at our agency, or unfortunately no longer the agency, it is now known as the authority. Obviously this is where the storyline does take off a little bit further for us all. So, one of my big theories, which I wanted to put in today's video, which we'll get into in a sec, is regarding the event. I also want to talk about it in general. I want you guys to comment down below your theories. I'm not going to be going through in today's video hearting a lot of comments. As you guys know, I'm very interactive with my community. I spend hours every single day replying and hearting to lots of comments. But in this video, I'm going to avoid it because I want you guys to like the best comment, which is actually theory related. So, that's why I'm going to leave it for you guys on that side. Also, watch out for them fake kind of promoters. Don't like them. Just like the actual real content which you see down there for theories. So as we just fly around the map, I just wanted to talk about something pretty interesting regarding Jules. So Jules herself has developed a little bit, and there's actually a map change which we'll get into in a second, which could relate to Jules as well. I do generally think that Jules is part of Shadow, obviously, as we know, and we have the Ghost team which are kind of combating Jules, maybe trying to get back at the agency's location. They still have the Join Ghost and the Join Ship over here, and that leads on to a storyline theory with the actual potential of them using the Storm event again, but rather than pushing back the Storm, consuming the Storm. Almost like part 2 to what we saw with the Jonesy event. And I think that would be a great addition for this season's event. It'd be very similar. The device would come up again, the Doomsday device, at the authority this time, and obviously instead of pushing back the Storm, it would try and consume the Storm. Maybe the device would look a little bit different. Maybe the device would be mega and obviously take us into that part 2 of that Jonesy scene, which we may have not seen yet. I generally think if they did something like that, it would only be a short, sweet event, very similar to the one we've already got, other than rather than pushing it back, it just sucks it in, and that'd be really cool. So I'm hoping for something like that this season, to be honest, like a part 2 to last season. So let me know in the comments your theories though. Here's a little map change I've got for you guys that I forgot to put in earlier. This is actually regarding some of the pirate changes. Obviously over here some people are coming up with theories that this maybe could be some sort of secret pirate base, because they've got a map on the table, a bunch of chairs, and it's actually in part of a boat where you can't actually just walk into. You have to obviously break into this section. So I kind of like that, and obviously you guys like that as well. There's also a kind of spanner as well around that section on the floor, which I'll show a screenshot here, which kind of reminds me of Jules a little bit. Does it remind you guys of Jules a little bit? So that's what makes me think maybe Jules was originally based on that boat. We know in the trailer we kind of see them on all different boats and different rafts and stuff, but obviously the trailer doesn't really tell us too much about the storyline. It never has really. So I'm definitely excited for that in general across Fortnite's story. My other kind of look at the storyline currently is obviously this huge era we're in with this complication with the simulation. I know a lot of people are saying we are in a simulation, a lot of people are saying we aren't. It's a huge debate, and it definitely is something which I want to see what you guys think in the comments. I've already made a storyline video talking about the simulation and how it does link into our Fortnite world, but I don't think it connects with Save the World. That was kind of the point of that storyline video, kind of getting across the point that Fortnite Battle Royale and Save the World aren't connected at all. So I'm hoping that they do start to mix things up a little bit and make it a bit more unique with the storyline than it is on Save the World. So I'm very excited for it. Hope you guys are excited for it as well, to see where things are going to develop. Right now we're obviously in this battle between Shadow and Ghost, and I do generally think that they are developing their boat to kind of maybe take back the authority. And I do potentially think that the authority will even actually develop itself into a bigger and stronger fort throughout the season. We know that there may be a potential few map changes happening over there, obviously with the water getting lower and lower and lower. As the water slowly starts to disappear, then we can expect this area to probably open up with the doors, etc., for the addition of obviously the cars. Maybe not at the Fortilla where we're at right now though. I generally don't think that the Fortilla will actually kind of work with cars very well. I constantly think this will stay as a water POI, you know, because sharks and stuff, people still want to actually be able to ride sharks, they want to be able to ride boats, they want to still be able to do all that. So I do think this section of the map where the Fortilla is, also where the Aquaman POI will be, I do generally think this will all stay underwater. But I do think towards the middle of the map we will start to see the water disappear, and that's when cars come in handy, and obviously boats can only go through the stream ideally. Obviously if you want to ride a boat on the road, there's nothing stopping you at all, but you know, generally I do think cars will get added in for that addition. Obviously we know cars are coming out on the 21st. I think generally cars would be really awesome if they are a lot faster than the boats on land, because why would you use a car when you can just use a boat if they're the same speed? So I'm hoping Fortnite do consider that a little bit more. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Smash a like on it, smash the subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in future content very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, this is Postboxpat signing out.